Welcome back to the podcast for Southern Oregon Housing. I am Alice Lema. I'm a principal broker at Home and Land Real Estate here in beautiful Southern Oregon. And today we're going to be talking about the 4 mistakes that seniors make with their real estate. And I think you'll be surprised to hear this list. So the first thing we want to talk about is the practice of putting your adult children on the deed, on the title of your real estate, especially your primary residence. Now, the reason real estate agents struggle in these situations is because if the adult child is going through a divorce or has a lawsuit, a bankruptcy, a DUI, creditors, just life situations, it could put the asset at risk, and it could put the older person at risk financially because of the other situations. Additionally, God forbid, if the adult child dies before the older person, then it's unclear sometimes if the elder gets to stay in the house. So all of these things can be remedied with a document. An estate attorney can draw up for you, or if you just write something down yourself that discusses what happens upon your death, or if you're incapacitated. It would be better to use a trust, or sometimes the title companies and attorneys will talk about a document that's called a transfer on death deed, something like that. So, but these are all questions you need to discuss with your family, your attorney, and just have something in writing. Don't just assume that if you put everybody on the deed that it's going to be hunky-dory, because sometimes it's not. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is when you have a trust, but you don't put anything in it. So we run into this a lot where people spend a lot of money and they have beautiful revocable living trusts, but they don't put the assets into the trust. So you have to do another step, and that is called retitling the house, your bank accounts, your brokerage account, whatever you're doing, but put them in the trust. So that they call that funding the trust. But it's kind of funny because we do run into that a lot as real estate agents, that there is a trust, but nothing's in it. So don't do that, because if you do that, it just ends up going to probate anyway. Number 3, not having a proper or current power of attorney. We call these POA, power of attorney, and you can have all different kinds of power of attorney documents. So you can have more than one person in your life signing on your behalf in different situations. I don't think people understand that. And if you're going to have somebody acting on your behalf in real estate, then the title company frequently wants a real specific kind of document. And again, this is where a really good estate attorney can come in handy. But also, this is a good time of year to be discussing these kind of things with your loved ones. So they're going to be either at your table, you'll be at their table, they'll be on the phone with you. This is a good time to kind of just get these power of attorneys, these POAs in place. And the situation when we have real estate transactions without a power of attorney, it just makes it very, very hard on your loved ones that are left behind. And it can also end up in really expensive and drawn out court proceedings. If you don't pass away and you're incapacitated, then they end up going before a judge, sometimes having to do guardianships and custodial hearings and stuff like that. And it's just really, really hard. So don't do that. Get a POA and talk to everybody now while you can, because they're all circling because of the holidays. So the fourth thing we wanted to talk about, which is really way more common in Southern Oregon than you might realize, is not having a will or a trust or a power of attorney or medical directives at all. Zero. There's a surprisingly number of us older people. I don't know if we just think we're going to live forever, or nothing's going to happen to us, or we'll get to it later. Well, time does march on, And you need to have something in writing. If you have an asset and you're 18 years old, you need to have something in writing. So get in the habit, regardless of how old you are, get in the habit of having documentation in case there's an emergency and you are incapacitated or you pass away. What happens, especially if you have children under 18? It's just, I'm saying it tongue in cheek, but not having any arrangements whatsoever is way more common than you might realize. So that's my number one gripe as a real estate agent is people just haven't made any arrangements at all. So again, this is the holiday season. Use this opportunity, fill in some of these gaps with you and your family so that you're more prepared. And in the meantime, give me a call, give me a text. I want to talk to you about your real estate. My number is 541-301-7980. That's 541-301-7980. I'm a great listing agent. I'm a great buyer's agent, great with investments, rural property, horse property, riverfront, apartment buildings. Real estate is my bag. And as an older person myself with a lot of real estate experience, I've had some of these emergencies happen with clients and can really recommend some specific directions for you and your family. So hug those you love. Have a beautiful holiday. We'll see you next time. Bye, folks.